Hey guys, it's Libby and this is my vlog for day one of the Cramathon. I'm sorry I didn't get some footage of right when I started, about 6 a.m. this morning, but the spouse was still asleep and I didn't want to be yelling at him, so I just started quietly, and I have now finished 2 books. They are 2 books in a bind-up, but that still counts. So I'm done with Cinderella and the Glass Hill and For Biddle's Sake by Gail Carson Levine. This means I have completed the challenge for finish 2 books in 24 hours, and it's, what, 9:45 right now. So definitely going to be able to finish a 3rd book and probably a 4th today. And of course I've also finished the Read a Children's Book challenge. So I'm about to start the Fairy's Return. I think I'm going to do some laundry first. I'm going to try to film during the breaks in the laundry process because my dryer is insanely loud. And then once I'm done with the Fairy's Return, I believe probably my prophecy is that I'm going to start Song of the Sparrow because Princess Tales have kind of got me in a whimsical fairy tale-like mood, and Song of the Sparrow might be whimsical and fairy tale-like. It may crush my soul though, so... Whew. Okay, can we take a minute to enjoy the epic glare that is going on? I think I have to hold my head right there and then not move it. This will be impossible. So I just finished the Princess Tales, all 3 of them that are in volume 2, so I thought I'd give little reviews of them. Cinderella and the Glass Hill, I gave a 3 out of 5 stars. It just wasn't as interesting as a lot of the other ones were. I mean, like, I know that I know the end of all of them. Our young couple is going to get married and live happily ever after. But Cinderella and the Glass Hill, I don't know, it was a bit too rote. It was one of those things where things happened 3 times, and the thing that happened 3 times was too similar. So, 3 out of 5 stars to that. And then For Biddle's Sake, I gave that one 4 out of 5 stars because it was more fun. It starts out like Rapunzel, but I think it's actually based on like some obscure German fairy tale because it gets very weird at the end. And that story that I thought might be The Fairy's Return, with that you have to find the dog that can fit into a walnut shell, that's actually For Biddle's Sake. So I had not read The Fairy's Return until this time. And The Fairy's Return, I think, is a retelling of The Golden Goose. I'm not totally sure because I don't actually know the story of the Golden Goose, but there is a golden goose in this, so probably. And I gave this one also a 4 out of 5 stars. And I have now made a list of all the challenges so that I can cross them off when I'm done. So I have done Read 2 books in 24 hours and Read a Children's Book. I'm now moving on to Song of the Sparrow, which will be my book in verse and my hardcover. So Godspeed to me. Okay, so it's now just after 2 o'clock. I had some lunch, did some more laundry. I am now on page 83 of Song of the Sparrow out of, I believe, 393. And we have started to get to the point where distractions come into play. I don't know if it's just that this free verse style is kind of inaccessible to me, or if that I'm reading about knights but they're not doing anything particularly valiant. But I decided to listen to the soundtrack to Man of La Mancha. I had been listening to just like some gentle flute music while I was reading, but I thought I could listen to like a Broadway soundtrack and read a book at the same time. Let me tell you, it did not work. Instead of reading, just pretty much turned into this.
I Don Quixote, the Lord of La Mancha, my destiny calls and I go. I come for love, I come for love, I come to a dancer for love.
One pair of arms is like another, I don't know why or who's to blame.
I feel with pain that once again we now will hear a very often heard refrain. Golden helmet like thee. Thee and I now, and I die now, will make golden history.
So yeah, I think it's time that I switch back to my gentle flute. Otherwise, this is not gonna get read. Okay, so it's now almost 7 o'clock, and I think this is going to be my last update for this video because I want to get this video edited before I get too sleepy. Oh, and I'm out here on the balcony because David has come home and is being loud in the living room. So, welcome to this new part of my house. So I just finished Song of the Sparrow. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. That's a tentative 3 out of 5 stars, though. I'm gonna have to let it sit with me and see how I feel about it later. I quite liked most of it, and I was prepared to give it a 4 out of 5 stars. I don't think the poetry aspect of it was incredible, but it certainly wasn't a problem, and it sort of allowed for shorter sentences that are more reminiscent of thoughts to occur more naturally. However, the last 100 pages, the first 50 pages of the last 100 pages got very, action-y, which was a real change from what was going on earlier. And then the very last 50 pages I had a lot of problems with. All of the issues seemed to be very easily resolved, both the personal ones and the political ones. And the way that the various relationships work out, I was just like, what? I am okay with adapting the canon. I'm a fan of the Mists of Avalon. And of course, the canon is so varied when it comes to Arthurian literature that you kind of have a lot of leeway. But, there's one guy who you don't put with other people. I don't like that. I actually had to go read The Lady of Shalott, the poem by Tennyson, to see if there was anything that might justify that in the original text, and there was not, so it just severely bothers me. And also, tiniest little nitpick that shouldn't actually bother me, but since there were other things that bothered me, it sticks out a bit more. The round table is not actually a table, it's just benches in a circle, and I'm like, it's called the round table? Throw me a bone here. Although I have to say, it's not as bad as the round table in that Clive Owen movie. That is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Go Google a picture. Clive Owen, King Arthur, round table. It's this wide all the way around. It's inane. This was better than that, but I still did not appreciate the lack of an actual table. So yeah, kind of disappointed in that. I think I'm gonna go edit this video now. I should probably eat dinner as well in there sometime. And then I'm gonna do pictures for sad children. I actually started reading the first, 4 pages of this. And it appears to be about a ghost who's hanging out, having fun in a sort of ironic, depressed way. So I may love it or I may feel nothing for it. Probably won't hate it. We'll see. I'll let you know when I see you tomorrow. Oh, also, since I just read The Lady of Shalott, does that count as a thing? It's like a proper poem. It's like a long-ish poem. I think that counts as an extra book that I've read, which means I read 5 books today. Go me.